Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carole Baskin at Big Cat Rescue. I was out here doing cameos with Aria Tiger, and she was doing such a good job in the background. Oh, you're just the best partner ever, Aria. Absolutely. She was being so sweet. I thought, I have got to share her with everybody that loves Big Cat Rescue. For those of you who don't know Aria's story, she was in our witness protection program for a long time. And she came to us with huge gaping holes on her hips and on her shoulders. You can still see a little bit of the scarring right there on her shoulder, and you can tell right where her hip bone would be, that she's still got a lot of really awful scars there. And of course, the telltale sign of cats that have been used as pay-to-play cubs is they typically don't have any fur on the end of their nose, because they spend so much time in carriers being dragged around from one event to another that they rub all the fur off of their faces on the carriers, and it never grows back because of all of the damage they do to themselves. But in her case, I mean, she was in some serious bad shape. Mouth full of rotten teeth, missing part of her ear, these big gaping holes that the Ohio Department of Ag said that they had gone pretty much untreated for 4 years before they finally took away the woman's cat and sent her here. And none of us really thought she was going to survive, but she did. Yes, and now she deserves a nap because she did some hard work, so I'm going to go bother somebody else. Okay, I'll bother somebody else. The problem was the person that had her before would try to treat the infections and the wounds, but she was keeping her on a hard surface, and so she could never heal, and she wouldn't give her the meds reliably. So like out here every morning, a lot of our cats are on meds because they're older and they need things for arthritis and that sort of thing, and every evening they have to get their meds again. Those things rattling in my tray are going to drive me nuts. I was wearing my cute little ears. Aren't those cute? I love those for the cameos. And I didn't want them to slide off my golf cart. So what happens if you start treating a infection and you don't take the full course? You know, your doctor always says take it for 14 days, even if you start to feel good after 3. And that's what happens with the cats. It's really hard to give a cat a pill. And so people try for a few days and then they give up, and then the cat builds up an immunity to all of the different antibiotics, and then nothing works. And so that's what happened when she came. Hey, Sapphire. Hi. Hello. Somebody was sleeping. Did I wake you from a nap? Oh my goodness. I sure did. So we had all of that going on, and then we had to, because we couldn't have her in the dirt because she had these big holes in her. I mean, you could slip your hands into those big holes. They were that bad. And so we had to keep her on a clean surface. She couldn't lay on the dirt. And we ended up having to build like this very thick, I'm saying maybe 4 to 6 inches thick foam, and cover it with something that she couldn't tear up. And that was hard. We went through a few iterations on that one before we got it right. But she finally healed, and the state finally got possession of her and released her to us. Were you painting? You look like you were painting. She has purple and green on her fur, so they must have been doing some enrichment. And you haven't quite washed yours off yet. They use children's finger paint, so you don't have to worry about it being toxic to the cats. You can't quite reach in there and wipe it off like we do when... Sometimes we do paw paintings of them with the same kind of paints when they're under sedation. But when they're under sedation, we can clean their fur off. When they're painting on their own, we can't very well reach in there and clean that stuff off their fur. Huge shout out to everybody who took care of the cattails down there on the lake. So if you look all the way across the lake, you'll see the fake swan. And then up there on the catwalk on the far left side, there's a camera. And that camera can look straight across the lake here, because it's an amazing camera by Explore, and it can look at Sapphire, because they took the cattails down that were in the way of that. It wasn't exactly what I meant when I said I want the cattails taken out. I wanted them dug out, but I think this might make it easier for Victor to get the front end loader in there and maybe grab what's left and get them out. Usually I wouldn't be able to do a walkabout this late in the day because I'd need to be getting on my bike and getting home, especially since it's raining. But today I drove my car in because at 7:30 this morning, Afton woke me up. Well, she didn't wake me up, I was awake, but she got me rousted out of the house very early without my makeup or anything else because Servy, the serval, is not feeling very well. And Servy didn't want her meds last night, which is really unusual. She's on medications because she's allergic to bugs, and if she gets bitten by a mosquito, she has a horrible reaction, and so she has to get her meds all the time, and she wasn't wanting them yesterday. And then this morning when they went out to feed her, she was like, no thank you. And it's like, oh, that is not Servy. That's not the Servy we know who eats everything in sight. So I had to come in and help them catch her. I thought I saw Max go by. Where'd you go, Max? He's got like 4 of these cages that are connected here. There he comes. You can see him coming from back in the back. Are you coming up here? Hi. Hello. No? He's been acting a little weird today. What? You sneaking? You're sneaking. So we took her in the cat hospital. They've gotten her to eat a little bit of food, and she looked not terribly dehydrated, but a little bit. So we gave her 300 cc's of fluids. Hi, Chaos. You're so beautiful. What if I stay back here? Will you stay if I stay back here? Oh, dear. Why is my Zoom not zooming? Well, this may be a very short walkabout. I did not think it was going to rain quite this hard. And Chaos was up here talking to Cyrus. Hey, Cyrus. Yep. You gonna get in out of the rain too? I'm not stupid. Of course I am. Oh yeah, here it comes. It's coming. Rain's coming. Ah! Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to call it. Thanks for joining, everybody. Sorry about cutting out on you so quick.